Amanda LaMotte from the Broadway show Matilda is with us today here at Becco Restaurant, 355 West 46th Street, otherwise known as Restaurant Row. And we're going to be talking to Amanda about her roles in Matilda. Roles, I'm saying, because she is actually a swing, which is one of the most difficult things to do in a Broadway show. Amanda, how long have you been in Matilda right now?
I am about to have my 1-year anniversary in about a week. Yeah.
Really?
It's been a year since I started rehearsal, but it will be a year and a week from when I started my first show.
Oh, that's exciting, and what a show it is too.
It's so smart, it's so magical.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be a part of.
Absolutely, I hear it's an absolutely wonderful show. I haven't had a chance to see it, and I'd really like to.
You gotta come.
Yeah, absolutely, I want to. How have the houses been?
They've been really good. We do really well around spring break time and the holidays and big family vacation times. Mm-hmm. So now that it's spring break, we're sold out most shows.
And the summer's pretty good too.
And the summer's really good, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I know that little stint between January and March is it's a very, very low time on the Broadway scene, so it's really great to be able to get some tickets during that time, because we're actually going to go see Beautiful. The last time we were here, as a matter of fact, Amanda, was with Liz Larson. Liz and I had done Fiddler on the Roof again, but here's the secret that you might not have known, that actually Amanda and I have done 2 shows together. One is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which was at the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival up in Auburn, yes, thank you very much. Thanks for being my better half there. And then we were in Pittsfield at the Barrington Stage Company up in Massachusetts for Kiss Me Kate, which she was absolutely dynamite. I mean, if you see Amanda dance, she is sparkling on stage, involved all the time. Well, you know, the thing is that that's what you need to have, is somebody that's involved in, you know, you're not just a dancer dancing, but you're involved in the plot and what's going on. And
it's more fun that way.
It is, isn't it?
It's not fun to just go and dance. It's more fun to be part of the story.
Absolutely.
And act and sing and stuff
there you
too.
go. Absolutely, and it certainly is. Now, when you started out at Matilda, what was the initial reaction? Because, you know, when you're asked to be able to do all of these different roles, it's kind of like a mountain to climb, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not sure. I had swung before, but I'm not sure I knew particularly with this project what I was getting myself into. I cover 16 tracks. I cover all the little kids, and I cover all the adults, male and female, in the ensemble. And they said, oh, you're going to cover the kids, and oh, you're going to cover the men and the adults. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I got there, and I was like, wait, that's so many people. I knew in theory, but then once I got there, I was like, wait, this is a lot to learn.
Wow.
But you just take it one at a time. And Matilda's really great for swinging because it's kind of a giant puzzle, the way that Peter Darling has set up all of his choreography. It all just makes sense so that you know, oh, I'm standing in this part of the stage. I must be in this particular pattern of choreography. So once you learn the whole picture, it's easier to know what's happening. Because if you think of it as just one person's track, you'll lose your mind.
Yes, absolutely.
So learning it as a pattern, this particular show was really helpful for me. But it's still a lot of information.
Sure. Now, did they have a set thing for you as far as being able to say, Amanda, this is how we want you to go about it? And did they give you a step-by-step, or did they throw everything and say, here it is, sweetheart, you know, and put it on your shoulders?
They taught me one track in the beginning just to give me the foundation of the show. So they taught me the track that I actually go on for the most. There are 2 girls that are swings that we both cover, the kids and the adult women. It tends to be, there is no official delineation of first covers, but I tend to go on for the adults first and she tends to go on for the kids first. We both cover both and we both do both, but that's what tends to be the norm. So they taught me the adult female tracks first, since that was the thing that they needed me for the most right away. So they taught me the acrobat track first. which she does all of the ensemble dancing, and then she's also the acrobat specialty. So I learned that first, and she does a lot of what the other two female ensemble girls do. So I really just had to reverse things or learn it to be in a different place on the stage. So it was easier once I knew one track to figure out the others. And then after I learned those three, they said, okay, now it's time for you to start learning the kids. And they did the same thing, where I learned one entire track of a little girl and one entire track of a little boy, and then it was easier to know, oh, then the other little girls just have these variations to do differently, and these little boys have these variations to do differently. So it was easier to learn with the base of each of those things and then adding the specialties to them.
And being a dancer too, you know, when you're in class, especially with dancing, especially with ballet, I would say, is that they always give you, you know, especially in center, well, at the bar too, for that matter, is that they give you variations, then they'll say, now reverse them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, then they ask you to go into that area of your mind where you have to reverse everything. And it's like you can see it, you can hear it, but sometimes your body has to go along with it, and it's very difficult. At least I found it difficult.
Oh no, I don't know. Somehow that's a skill that I definitely use in my job every single day. But if you put me in a ballet class and you say reverse it, I'm like, I don't know that I can do that.
When you first started out, you're from Florida?
Yeah, Orlando.
Orlando. Wow, that's fantastic. Were you a part of the Orlando Ballet?
I wasn't. I grew up dancing. I did competitive dance for a long time. And I went on tour as a kid with a children's show.
What was the show?
Dragon Tales Live. Just silly. I was 13 and I went on tour and spent a year out on the road with my mom. And then when I came back, I decided that I really liked the theater thing. I had kind of done it before that, but that it was something I wanted to pursue more heavily. And it was really impossible for me to do the competition dance and try and do theater. It was just too much rehearsals for both. So I decided that I would take ballet at one studio and hip-hop at the hip-hop really strong studio and jazz at the really strong jazz studio. So I kind of created my own dance program instead of staying at one studio. So I found the teachers in Orlando that were the strongest at those particular genres, and my mom, who was amazing and drove me everywhere, drove me all over the city for me to take class with all these different teachers. Moms are amazing. They are. They're terrific. Now, did you take one class a week? No, I took many classes a week. I was usually in class until like 11 o'clock at night, and then I would drive home and do my homework and be up at very late and then wake up for school at 6 in the morning. Do you think anybody could make it on Broadway with just doing one class a week or maybe one class a month? I think it would be really difficult, especially if you are going in for dance tracks. If you're going to the ECCs or the open calls as a dancer, it's really difficult for you to have the technique that you need, and to not only that, it's your mind is a muscle, and picking up choreography in auditions is really hard, even if you do it a million times a week. So going to class exercises that muscle of remembering combinations and picking up choreography really quickly. If you're only going once a week, your mind isn't getting exercised very much, and neither is your body. So how did you get started in dance? I mean, all of a sudden, did you say to your mom, I think I might like to do dance? Or my mom, I was 2.5 years old, and my mom took me to a dance class for little tiny girls, put me in a cute frilly little thing because I think she thought it was cute, and I think it was just something for me to meet friends and for me to do, and then she created a monster. I gotta go to class, Ma. I remember every year my mom would say to me, Amanda, do you want to take dance class again? And I would look at her like she had 15 heads, because of course I did. But I never, even though I started so young and it was something that she just thought would be fun for me to do, it was something that I loved, and I was never forced into it, even though I was so young. I, from a very young age, was like, no, obviously I'm gonna go to dance class again. You're crazy if you think I'm not going to. And every year I just asked to do more and more and more. And my mom's like, you want to take 5 classes? Okay, 5 classes. We're going to do 5 classes this year. All right, okay. Oh, you want to compete too? Okay, we're going to do competition too. Like, just more and more and more. And my mom was so amazing that she was willing to take me to all these dance lessons. And pay for all the dance costumes and the recitals and the competitions.
Do you think you got your extension? I mean, because when I started ballet, I was 19. Because my girlfriend broke up with me, and she was a dancer at the Maine State Ballet Company, and I still hadn't gotten over her. So I decided that I would go and take a ballet class. And so I showed up, and she was absolutely horrified. And then they had me go up, and I just had on sweatpants at that time because I wouldn't wear the tights. You know, I was a manly man. And and I went up there, and they said, "This is first position," and my feet went up like that, and they said, "You have a scholarship, darling." So that was something that really got me going.
Yeah.
They gave me the scholarship in dance, and then I had voice lessons that my folks gave me, and you take advantage of that. But I always like to pay it forward. We here at the Secrets to Broadway, by the way, we have a tickets window, and we also have a Amazon. So any of the profits we do, we take 10% of that and give it to the Actors Path is what we call it. So cool. yeah, it's kind of fun. Now do you, as being in Matilda, do you have an opportunity to leave and go off and do another show and then come back to it?
It kind of depends on your contract that you have with them. Right now I'm under what's called a rider, and the rider means that I can't leave for 6 months. And I can choose at the end of my 6 months to sign another rider, or I can have a 4-week out in my contract. So it...
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm asking, I guess, is that...
Like, can I have a leave of absence?
Yes.
It's difficult to get a leave of absence.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
It has been done. People in the show have had leave of absence and they come back to the show. So it's not impossible. It's just really difficult. Right. And especially, I think, this is an assumption, but if you cover a lot of tracks, it's very difficult to replace you.
Yes.
So I think it would be extra hard for me in particular to be granted a leave of absence.
Right. I just love it.
I haven't asked, so I don't know, but...
Well, no. I mean, it's very, very hard for them to do that because, first of all, it takes a lot of people to put in somebody in a Broadway show. And if you're a swing and you're responsible for a lot of tracks, there's no way that they can get somebody in to replace you unless it was another swing from another time that already knew them.
Right.
But that's almost impossible.
Which there's only one other girl who has done this track. So unless she wanted to come back,
right, exactly,
then there would be no possibility of that happening.
And we just finished having our entrees at Becco, and that's at 355 West 46th Street, right here in Midtown Manhattan, right in the middle of the theater district. And if you don't come and get some of this food,
it's so good.
It is just divine. How was your
my pasta trio?
It was
delicious. I am so full. But everything was really, really tasty.
Yes.
The pasta was very fresh.
Yes, and I had the steak. I know that there's a word for it, but I think the word is delicious. It was a fillet that was cut and served rare over arugula, and it was just the best, the finest I've ever had. So that does it for us today with Amanda LaMotte, who is a swing, and we're here celebrating the month of February, which is Actors Equity, 100 years of Actors Equity, and designated February as Swing Month.
Yay, go Swings!
Yes, go Swings, and they are the most important stars on Broadway. They keep a show running for sure. And the producers really put a lot of confidence and faith in their swings. And Amanda, you are definitely that kind of person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful rest of your day. You have to go teach a class,
I do, yes.
And you folks, please make a reservation for Becco right now.
Promotional consideration for secretstobroadway.com provided by Becco on New York's Restaurant Row. Becco, known for its innovative pasta tasting menu, serves lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Call 212-397-7597. Becco, 355 West 46th Street in New York City.